Hi all and welcome back to the All Things Football podcast. A chance for us as ever to round up what is happening across the leagues and a chance for me to give you my latest strange football fact. So it all started on Friday night at the Hawthorns as West Bromwich Albion and Birmingham City faced off in a West Midlands derby. The derbies didn't stop just there as we were treated to two West London affairs on Saturday as Fulham and QPR met in the early kickoff and Brentford and Chelsea met in the evening. Aston Villa and Wolves met in the second West Midlands derby of the weekend, and there were many more across the leagues. The FA Cup qualifying rounds finished up as we look forward to the first round proper, and finally we take a look at what is happening across the rest of Europe. So, Dan, how are we, my friend? Good week?
Good week. Very good weekend of football. Don't you just love derby days, especially when you've got a handful that happened across the domestic scene over the weekend? But how was your week? Yeah, how was your week? How was your weekend?
Yeah, very good week. Yeah, good week, mate. Yeah, very good. But
Good.
yeah, good to get back to domestic football. And like you said, treated to a few derbies this weekend.
There were a fair few, and yeah, no doubt we'll discuss them as we go through this. There's no better place to start, probably with the Premier League returning. So when we come back, it will be the Premier League. Where do we start in the Premier League, AD? Where's the best place to start in the Premier League this weekend?
It's going to have to be Watford Liverpool.
Early kickoff.
Yep.
Yeah, early kickoff. So yeah, what happened at Vicarage Road?
So it finished Watford 0, Liverpool 5. Ranieri has got a job on his hands to try and stay in the job until Christmas.
What a yeah, definitely.
That's what I'm going to start with.
Great shout. Watford fans will be thinking, well, you won the league with Leicester, didn't you? So why can't we do something similar? But yeah, Liverpool. Let's talk about Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. They I don't know if you've seen it, but Salah, what a goal that was.
Just a lovely little bit of trickery, defence left and right, and then just the finish as well. Beautiful left-footed finish.
I think what's great about the scoreline for Liverpool at the weekend, especially away from home, 5-0 victory, but they're front three. Mane, Firmino, and Salah all on the score sheet, with obviously Firmino getting that hat trick.
Obviously, yeah. I was going to say Salah stole the show as he does because he is becoming what people are touting him as the best player in world football at the moment, which probably is. I'd say that's probably about right at the moment.
Yeah, it's difficult to argue with that, isn't it?
But Firmino hat trick. He doesn't score many, but fair play to him. Got his hat trick.
He done, and I think the thing with Liverpool was yesterday. Yes, it was Watford, and there's no disrespect to Watford. Claudio Ranieri's obviously come in. He's only had so long with his team, and obviously that's going to adapt over the weeks and thing. But Liverpool are really showing, and I know you keep saying on a weekly basis that Liverpool are your number one pick to win the league this year, and I'm finding it difficult at the minute, mate, to really say no, that won't happen, because Liverpool are looking really, really good. They're showing those qualities, aren't they, from the year they actually won the league?
Yeah, definitely. And now they've got the crowd back as well. So just it adds even more fuel to the fire to get behind them.
That's the big thing. We spoke about that, didn't we? About the crowds, and when Liverpool last season, when the crowds weren't there, they struggled, didn't they? And there's nothing, that Anfield Road end and the Kop and things like that. Anfield are that 12th man.
Absolutely.
For Liverpool. But yeah, fantastic win. Watford fans, obviously it's only one game for Claudio Ranieri.
Yeah, but I did social media just went wild with all the jokes. Oh, when's he going? When is he leaving? But he's got a big job on his hands.
He definitely has. Liverpool at the weekend, and then next weekend they've got the other side of Merseyside. They've got Everton, so a couple of tricky fixtures coming up for them. I think we should go to probably the first of the second of the West Midland derbies of the weekend, I'm going to say. But in the Premier League, Aston Villa 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 3. Gotta love a derby, and especially a derby that brings the excitement, more so probably for the away end at Villa Park at the weekend.
Got to say, I've been to see Aston Villa Wolves as a neutral, obviously, at Villa Park. Good few years ago. Ended up being a 0-0 draw, one of the most boring derby games I've witnessed in person. But yesterday, so Villa were 2-0 up, and then Wolves got to 2-2, and then what was it, 90th plus 5 minutes? Neves got the winner.
He
What a
did
game!
indeed, yeah. Danny Ings got the ball rolling. McGinn's goal was quite good. I did like that goal, especially in the bottom left-hand corner. But yeah, you're right. The last sort of 10-minute onslaught from Wolves. And I've got to say, even though it is Wolves, even though it is Aston Villa, it was really good to see the away end celebrate the way they did when Neves' goal went in. But what a cruel deflection that was.
Yeah, that's the worst thing, isn't it? Like the 95th minute, one of your sort of big rivals in the area in the Midlands, and a massive deflection at your
to win the game.
Oh.
There's nothing better, is there? Especially when you're
for the away
on the
fans,
receiving end
but
of
for
that
the
winner.
home fans, oh.
Definitely not. And there's still a struggle, isn't there, for Aston Villa? It's currently languishing in mid-table. I don't know. Again, are we walking down the route of Aston Villa are still coming to terms with obviously the loss of Jack Grealish and the players that they've brought in? Surely by now there should
I've got to
be some.
say, I think you've got a bit of a point there, Dan. To be honest, that's 2 defeats in a row now for Aston Villa. So they're currently lying in 12th, like you said, mid-table. Played 8, won 3, drawn a game, lost 4. It's very massive mid-table form, but 2 losses on the bounce. They've got to quickly, if their aspirations of Europe, which the manager stated, and obviously the fans expect as well, they've got to turn things around pretty quick. Got to get the run going, haven't they? Really.
Definitely, there's no better place to do that on Friday night when they go to the Emirates to play Arsenal, a team that have in recent weeks showed a bit of form. But yeah, you're right, Aston Villa. Aston Villa tend to do well at the Emirates, actually, so it'll be interesting to see that one on Friday
and they're
night.
both close in the table as well.
Very much so, very much so. So a very big game in terms of the mid-table. As for Wolverhampton Wanderers, I think now Bruno Lage, he's definitely steadied the ship after that kind of slow, steady start up into 8th.
3 wins on the bounce as well.
Yeah, 3 wins on the bounce. So yeah, Wolverhampton Wanderers, you are looking good. Let's go to another Midlands side. Let's go over to the East Midlands and those champions that we mentioned earlier under Claudio Ranieri. How did Leicester and Manchester United finish?
So it finished Leicester City 4, Manchester United 2. 6-goal thriller in that game. It did sound like a pretty good game, that one, actually.
Caught the highlights this morning. Many people were shocked by the result, and I don't know. I don't think I am. I don't think I am shocked by that result. I think Leicester City they've definitely slowly adapted to this brand new season, sitting in 11th at the minute. But Manchester United are just not exciting me. They're not exciting me at all. And there's a lot of people that are saying exactly the same. There's definitely calls now, as I've seen it across media, not just social media, but actually across the media now.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time. Maybe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer isn't that man. But bearing in mind, and I say this, and I think we've spoken about this previously, this is a man that took Cardiff City down from the Premier League.
Yeah. I've mentioned it before. I've said we've talked about this in the past. Didn't do a great job at Cardiff, and then he ended up going back to Molde, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Norway. Afterwards. Came into Man U at a tough time. He did settle the ship a little bit, but in my personal opinion, I've never thought he was the right man, to be honest.
It's a nostalgia for me.
And it's coming to a head, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a nostalgia appointment for me. Obviously, he will always be remembered for obviously the '99 Champions League final.
Yeah.
But Manchester United needs that big-headed figure. And I saw something interesting from yourself today, actually, about Jose Mourinho. I think, yeah, Jose Mourinho, you're right. I
don't think he was as respected as much as he should have. He won the Europa League for Man U. He is a Marmite figure, isn't he?
He is.
You either love him or you hate him. That's a given. But compared to Solskjaer, I don't understand how some fans turned on Mourinho the way they did. Obviously, I'm not a Man United fan or anything.
No, but we don't know. Man United fans
exactly. We don't know all the ins and outs and stuff. But between the two of them, I think Mourinho did a much better job. In all honesty, in my opinion. But that's just me.
But back to Leicester City. They're struggling in Europe. I was looking at Europa League today, but they're struggling in Europe, and maybe that has taken an effect on their Premier League kind of status this season. But
it's tiring, isn't it, with Europe as well?
It is indeed, and yeah, especially when you've not been adapted like Man United and Chelsea and Manchester City playing year on year, getting used to that weekend Tuesday thing. But yeah, you know what? Leicester City were absolutely fantastic yesterday. I will mention Greenwood's goal. Greenwood's goal was absolutely superb yesterday, and I think Tielemans' goal was as well. It was like an opening half an hour where you saw two cracking goals that really shaped the way that game was going to go. But yeah, Leicester City running out 4-2 victors. Maybe that's the kickstart they need. Maybe that's the kickstart Leicester City needs, especially next week. They've got a really tough fixture next weekend. So they're going down to Brentford, and that ain't no easy place to go. And I'd quite like to go there next, as much as it was the evening kickoff. So let's talk about the second of the West London derbies that was going to be. We'll talk about the first of obviously the West Midlands and the London after that. But Brentford 0, Chelsea 1. Did you manage to catch any of the game at all, AD?
I did see bits. I didn't really get to see a lot of the game yesterday, but it sounded from what I've seen on the reports, and Sky Sports News mentioned that Mendy had a cracking game. There was a nickname for him, actually. I think it was I can't remember. It was something to do with Senegal, though. But yeah. He had a phenomenal game by all accounts.
Got to agree, yeah. Mendy kept Chelsea in that game yesterday. Chilwell got things up and running. Great little volley to put Chelsea ahead. But Brentford, absolutely, in my eyes, dominated. They could have had 3 or 4.
Was it their typical confident sort of attacking flair as well?
They're just we're saying it every week, aren't we? That they're just embracing the fact that they're in this Premier League, and now they're getting these. They're not, and
this is what we've said with. We said this, didn't we, last week or the week before, whenever it was, that when new teams come up, it's great to see freshly promoted teams who have that confidence. Brentford have got it in abundance. It's great to see.
Why not? It's their first time in the top flight of English football for many, many years, and why not just come in? Thomas Frank's a fantastic character as well.
Yeah,
and he's just no doubt the last words he is just go out there and enjoy it. Go out there and enjoy it, and show them why we're here, and why we should have been here 2 years ago. Really.
Yeah, I'm so glad they kept hold, and they stayed with each other, even with the playoff heartbreak as well.
Definitely, and they've got Brentford have the more success that they bring, and I think being 7th in the table currently is definitely a success. Phenomenal. Anything above relegation zone for Brentford this season is classed as success in my eyes. But they've got to be careful, because once that managerial kind of merry-go-round starts happening later on in the season, Thomas Frank's name is going to be definitely number one.
Touted. Yeah.
Definitely number one on people's lists. Absolutely. But yeah, Brentford 0, Chelsea 1. Undeserved. I think Brentford either deserved the win or the point, definitely. But yeah, Chelsea still march on, still top of the table.
Brentford cannot go away. Their fans can't go away from that feeling disappointed, I don't think.
Definitely not. No, definitely not. Definitely not. And I'm enjoying their journey as well. And I've got to say, I'm enjoying it as well. Let's head to the other side of Manchester. So over to the champions. Manchester City played Burnley.
So it was Manchester City 2, Burnley 0. That is probably
tame.
Burnley fans, they'll be happy with that, because they normally get a 5-0 thrashing when they go to their.
They do. I'm just looking, actually. Yeah, I'm just looking at the previous fixtures. 5-0.
Their fans normally, they go to the Etihad and they think,
5-0, 5-0, 4-1, 5-0, 5-0. There is plenty on here. So yeah, that was quite tame yesterday.
I think they'll take 2-0, to be honest.
Definitely. Silva, De Bruyne on the score sheet. Manchester City, that was, in my eyes, that was a game where you knew Man City would get those 3 points yesterday. Where are they now? Where are they now in the table? They're still knocking around. Third in the league. So still knocking around there. Who they got next weekend? Manchester, Brighton. That's going to be a tasty one. I think that's the evening kickoff.
Before the season started, we wouldn't be saying that, but now.
No, that's going to be a tasty one.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, but Burnley fans, was it second bottom now, I believe?
Currently second bottom, 19th.
Second bottom. It's still struggling to move along. Who you got next? Southampton next. So that's going to be that's a game. That's a game where you've got to get those 3 points, in my eyes. But yeah, Manchester City doing what they normally do. It's a fixture that you expected them to win, and Burnley, I'll be quite proud the fact that you only walked away with a 2-0 loss rather than the standard 5-0 hammering that is normally expected when you play at the Etihad.
I mean, we talked about obviously Liverpool. They're showing their dominance, but looking at the form table for both teams, they're both unbeaten in the last 5 games. So Liverpool have won their last one, obviously, against Watford, drew the previous 2. Man City won 2-0, drew the previous one, and won the one before that. Yep. So they're both unbeaten. There's only a point between, 2 points between Man City and Chelsea, a point between Man City and Liverpool. So it's still close at the top.
Well, they're the informed teams, aren't they? Liverpool, absolutely. Man City and Brighton, I think they're the informed teams at the minute within the league. I don't know about you, but Manchester City, we always know that they're going to be there or thereabouts, but they just go, I don't know what it is, but they just seem to just go along quite nicely. I think Chelsea, Liverpool and Brighton are kind of stealing the show,
Yeah.
aren't they?
Man City don't seem to be dominating, but they're cruising along nicely.
But they're getting
They're
the
on
wins.
cruise,
That's
aren't
it.
they?
I think
Yeah.
you're on the right path there. Yeah, cruising is probably the word to use when it comes to that. But yeah,
But they're
another.
doing okay. I mean,
Yeah,
you can't really go against their record so far. Played 8, won 5, drawn 2, lost a game.
definitely
The
not.
only
And then
unbeaten side in the Premier League are Liverpool still. So it's nothing.
there you go.
You can't say anything bad against that at all, really. So yeah, they're just cruising along. Third place, literally 2 points behind Chelsea at the top. So doing okay.
That's it. Yeah, and well, let's move into the last 2 fixtures.
Yep.
So unfortunately, not too much to say really. Norwich and Brighton and Hove Albion fans, you played out a classic 0-0 yesterday, by the sounds of it. Just going to look at the stats quickly and see if it was a classic. No. But Norwich, a point. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Point
A point.
gained.
Point's better than nothing. Whoa, yeah, it was quite. In terms of possession, Brighton dominated the play, but in terms of shots from Norwich, they were in the game, plenty of shots on target. So that's always a good thing. But yeah, nothing much really to say. Brighton, you're still going along quite nicely, unbeaten in the last 5. You're still sat in those Champions League spots in 4th, and then Norwich, another point gained in my eyes. Another point gained.
It is a point gained, but like you mentioned, Dan, the shots that Norwich had, they had 15 shots, only 3 on target. So they've got to start scoring
They've got to get better on that. And Norwich fans, if you're probably not looking at the fixture list, but you're the early kickoff next week, and you head to Stamford Bridge. So good luck on that one. In my eyes, take benefit from what Brentford did last night. Just go in there, no fear, just do what you can. And you never know, you might get that point or even snatch the win. There's been plenty of teams. I look at West Bromwich Albion last season, dead and buried in the league, go to Stamford Bridge and beat them 5-2.
Yeah,
things can happen. Things unexpectedly can happen in the Premier League, and maybe that's the fixture where that can happen.
Never say never.
You. Absolutely. And then another bottom of the table kind of fixtures played at the St Mary's yesterday. Southampton 1, Leeds United 0. So Leeds United were on the back of a victory, weren't they? In the last fixture, and Southampton probably a much needed win in my eyes.
Absolutely much needed win. So they're up to 15th now. Leeds, it's been a struggle of a start this season, hasn't it? Really, like we said, they won their previous game, but then to lose 1-0 to Southampton, who are around that sort of area down the bottom.
Those games you've got to win, haven't you?
It's very close down the bottom. I'm just looking now. Really, really close.
Got to win those games, and the thing is, Southampton have got that experience within this league to know that they've got to drive out of it, even if a 1-0, even if it's a 1-0. Like I think you saw again on your social media. It doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you get those 3 points.
That's it.
That's all that matters. So, in terms of the Premier League, we do have a fixture that's currently playing at the moment. We're 15 minutes gone at Goodison Park. It's Everton 0. West Ham United 0, and then St James's Park. I think all eyes are on St James's Park tonight, as obviously the new ownership, as Newcastle played Tottenham.
Steve Bruce is 1,000th game in football. It's going to be an interesting reaction.
I think that's
what to expect.
That's something, isn't it? That's something to get to 1,000 league games as manager. I saw the LMA announce it at the week.
I'm gonna say fair play to him for that. It's a hell of a lot of games in management.
You know what?
Well.
You've got to. It's probably going to be quite controversial, really, but I think Steve Bruce he's doing what he can with what he's got, because he's not really had much support from Mike Ashley.
No.
Yes, we know that they've got a fantastic relationship, but you've got to support your manager. And he hasn't been supported. And to be honest, I think he has done quite a fair job in what he's done.
Overall, I must agree, to be honest. Obviously, he's taken a lot of flack over the past few years. But like you said, Dan, Mike Ashley's never been the most supportive of owners to the managers he's had. And Steve Bruce, to be fair to him, he's held his own. I could see in press conferences the pressure's definitely getting to him.
Yeah,
he did have a little bit of a dig at the local media, but I think he's done pretty well, and he's had a tough few years, to be fair.
And I think he's right to sit there and have a bit of a dig at people for having a.
He's got to defend himself. It's good to defend yourself. Yeah.
Apparently, he showed nothing but courtesy and things like that since the new management have come in place. There's been some fantastic conversations, and I'm not going to beat around the bush here. Newcastle United fans, the names that I'm seeing that are being linked with this job: Frank Lampard. Come on now. Steve Bruce is probably a much better experienced manager to get you out of the trouble that you're in that table at the minute.
I'd agree.
Frank Lampard.
I wouldn't be blown away by Frank Lampard being linked, to be honest, because I don't think he's done a lot in the Premier League to prove himself.
I've seen the link. let's have a quick discussion about this. I'm just going to bring up the latest odds when it comes to this.
There's been so many different favourites. I've been keeping tabs a little bit on Sky Bet. I know it's not concrete or anything, but it's just interesting,
but I'm just
isn't it?
baffled by the names linked. Here we go. So we've got Frank Lampard. He's favourite at 3-1. Unai Emery. Here we go. These are names.
I did see that. Yeah.
These are names that are there. Brendan Rodgers. Why would he want to leave Leicester?
And to be fair, he's already said nope, not happening. Nope, he's staying.
Which is again Steven Gerrard.
He's talked about it, but he's not said he wouldn't go for it. But he's sort of held respect for Bruce, hasn't he?
But again, what's he done? What's he done to prove at the minute? Apart from he won the league with Rangers.
No offense to the Scottish League.
It's a big step up.
Yeah,
the Premier League's a big step up, especially with that job. You need someone with experience coming in there, and then obviously you got Lucien Favre, Roberto Martinez, Zinedine Zidane. Zinedine Zidane would be an interesting one. Doesn't speak a word of English, but that was always an interesting one.
It'd be a different one, wouldn't it?
The only name that I'm seeing on there is Unai Emery at the minute, or one of the foreign managers. I think that's what you need. I think something new. I don't think Frank Lampard's the answer. Definitely not. No disrespect to Frank Lampard. You need to get obviously another managerial job under your belt.
Absolutely agree with that. I mean, he did well at Derby.
Chelsea was far too early. Derby did really well. Chelsea was far too early for him.
Yeah.
He went in there far too early with that one. But yeah, in terms of the Premier League, good luck to obviously no doubt is going to be some atmosphere at St James's Park tonight, Newcastle, Tottenham. I see a draw in that game in personally. But we'll see when it comes to later on. So the table for the Premier League, as ever, top 10, and then AD will continue with the rest. Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester United, and Brighton and Hove Albion, they make up those Champions League spots. Manchester United and Everton in those Europa League spots, and Brentford, you are in 7th in that final European spot, which is the Conference League. Wolves, Tottenham, and West Ham make up the top half.
So in the bottom half, from 11th down to 20th, we've got Leicester City, Aston Villa, Arsenal, Crystal Palace, Southampton, Watford and Leeds. In the bottom 3, we've got Newcastle United, Burnley and Norwich City.
Fantastic stuff. Over we go to the Football League, and it's time for the Championship.
So, EFL Championship. Goals galore, was it this weekend? I think so.
Definitely goals galore. Some low scoring games, apart from if you look at Craven Cottage. But obviously the action got underway on Friday nights. West Midlands Derby, so that's the second one we've covered so far. West Bromwich Albion and Birmingham. How did it go?
So Hawthorns on Friday night, a bit of a frustrating game, even as a neutral, to be honest. But it did finish West Brom 1, Birmingham City 0. Carlon Grant with the winner. It was a lovely effort from outside the box. He always does the coming in from the left, go on his right, smashed it in the bottom corner. It was a lovely finish after what was not the best game in the world, to be honest.
No, I completely agree. Yeah, Colin Grant seems to be finding a bit of form at the minute. And those goals, he's a specialist at those types of goals, isn't he?
It's outside that run, isn't it, from the left? Yeah.
Yeah, and then sooner bang, bottom left-hand corner. Keepers just can't seem to get to it. But Birmingham City, it's just struggle after struggle. Yeah.
After such a good start to the season as well.
It wasn't. We were mentioning that, weren't we? We mentioned the fact that they made a cracking start, because they did, didn't they? They got off to a win against Sheffield United and then went to Stoke, and then they got a fair few results. So it was a good start. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games unbeaten now. Yeah, I've got a point in there, but against Preston, who are specialists in drawing. But leaking too many goals, far too many goals. West Bromwich Albion, you did go top of the table very briefly, but we'll come to that in a moment. But yeah, West Bromwich Albion, you are currently in 2nd in the league. Birmingham, you are languishing down in 19th with a tricky fixture coming up on Wednesday night. Huddersfield Town away. Huddersfield are finding a bit of form again. They're
finding their feet, yeah.
Yeah, so interesting game there for Birmingham. But Lebo, no doubt, is going to be coming under the cosh at some point. There's a fair few managers, I believe, in the Championship.
I was watching the game on Friday. The camera picked up Lee Bowyer several times. He was so frustrated during that game. Birmingham, to be honest, had a lot of chances as well.
They did, and teams are coming to the Hawthorns, and they've kind of worked West Bromwich Albion out.
Yeah,
I think.
Definitely.
But yeah, in terms of the game itself, they created a fair few chances, but defensively, I think West Brom did what they needed to do. And again, that famous 1-0 victory for the Baggies. But Birmingham City fans, let us know, how do you see your season ending? Will it end with Lee Bowyer? Can you fight your way out of this? I think he can. I think he can.
I think he's a fighting character, isn't he? He's got that in him.
He definitely is. Let's move on to the Saturday fixtures then. So there was a nice early West London derby. So to completely round up there, we have Brentford Chelsea, and then we had Fulham and Queen's Park Rangers, who are both vying for promotion this season.
Definitely, yeah. So it finished Fulham 4, QPR 1. Fulham finding their feet again now.
I can no longer say I'm surprised with results in this league, because anyone, like you said, you've mentioned every week now, you can beat anyone. Anyone can beat anyone. But it was a Mitrovic show. I still can't believe the age of that man. It feels like he's been around for absolutely ages.
He's only mid-20s, isn't he?
He's not, he is, yeah.
Really.
But yeah, you know what? A fantastic win yesterday for Fulham. 4-1 QPR. You're outside of the playoffs now, and in terms of results,
what's it been like recently for QPR? So
they've won the last two before that,
and then they won 2 wins before, yeah.
But you're losing against the teams that are around you. Like they lost to Fulham yesterday, lost to QPR, lost to West Brom. Sorry, Bristol City, they're up there or thereabouts. Bournemouth.
And that's where you need to get the results,
and that's
especially
you've got to try
towards the end of the season. Yeah,
definitely. And it's a shame. Up until that Bournemouth game, they were on a massive run of form. They were winning games. They weren't dropping many points. Actually, I think they were actually unbeaten up until the middle of September. QPR.
Yeah, I do recall they started off really, really well, actually. Yeah.
And then recently, they've really, really struggled. In QPR, you've got a tricky fixture on Tuesday night. They're quite a strange team this season. Blackburn Rovers on Tuesday night. So strange one.
Very close in the table. Them two, 8th and 9th, could be a good game.
Definitely, yeah. But Fulham go to Cardiff, and we'll talk about Cardiff a little bit later on. But yeah, Fulham go to Cardiff. But yeah, there's nothing much really to say. Fulham, you're in third. You're remaining consistent in regards to keeping yourselves in the playoffs, which is always the key thing to do. But yeah, Fulham 4, QPR 1. 2 promotion pushers up in Lancashire. You've got some links to the area around Darwin and things like that. But yeah, Blackburn Rovers against a very good team.
Yeah, so my significant half is from Blackburn. They have had I think they've had a great season. Even the little bit of stutters here and there, but overall, compared to recent seasons, good start. As their opponents, Coventry, another cracking start this season. But it finished at Ewood Park, Blackburn 2, Coventry City 2. Sounded like a good game, that.
It was, yeah, a good sign of character. I think it was definitely a game of 2 halves. Blackburn went 2-0 up quite early doors in the second half, and then obviously they dominated the first half. Coventry City dominated the second half, but a really good show of character from both, really. To start how Blackburn did, you've got to pick up these second half kind of things to drag out that result and get the victory. And then Coventry City, being 2-0 down is always a difficult thing when you're away from home. But yeah, grabbing the 2 goals quite close together, actually. I think there's only 5 minutes between the two. And a good crowd, actually. I've got to say, Coventry City took a fair few following yesterday up to Lancashire, and I think they've got another trip actually in the week to Lancashire. Let me just
let's have a look.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they're off to Preston.
Yes.
Yeah, they're off to Preston. So I don't know whether they're going to get another back.
Could be a draw.
Preston. Sorry, Preston North End fans. It could be a draw.
We're only kidding, but yeah.
That's quite funny. But yeah, Blackburn 2, Coventry 2. Coventry, you remain in the playoffs in 4th. Blackburn Rovers, you are still there and thereabouts. You're in 9th currently. As you've just mentioned it, we might as well get it out of the way. Preston and Derby played yesterday. Derby County, I believe they've got 3 points on the board now, aren't they?
They are on 3, yes.
Yeah, they've got those points deduction, but it's always a good thing. They're back into the positive sort of nature. Still bottom of the league, but Preston North End. I believe that was. I want to say there was a win for a team, but I'm pretty sure there was a draw.
It was Preston 0, Derby 0. Another draw for Preston.
Another draw for Preston North End. How many draws is that for Preston North End this season?
Let's have a look. I've got to have a look at this. This is something we do need to have a look at.
It's got to be 6 or 7.
I reckon they're going to have a few this season over the whole course of it. Let's have a look. So, Championship table, Preston North End. So that's 12 played, 2 wins, 6 draws, 4 defeats. And you've drawn 4 of the last 5 games.
Crazy, ain't it?
It is. But
I think Derby are very similar, aren't they? Derby drawn the last
2. They've drawn the same, actually. Played 12, won 3, drawn 6, lost 3.
The specialist nature of it, and what quite fitting enough, it ended 0-0 as well.
Exactly.
So yeah, Preston Derby fans, draw specialists within the league. Derby, you've got a home game against Luton Town in the week, and Preston North End, yeah, like we just mentioned, you've got Coventry City. So yeah, Preston 0, Derby County 0. Right, back to proceedings on the weekend. I thought it was another top kind of fixture played in Bristol. How did that game go?
So it finished Bristol City 0, Bournemouth 2. We've both suggested that Bournemouth are going to be the winners of the league. They don't look like being stopped anytime soon, to be honest.
They're not, and you know what? I don't think we've done it enough. I think
Scott Parker.
Yeah, Scott Parker's done an absolutely fantastic job. And this is a manager that's only come into this Bournemouth this season after his spell with Fulham, and they're doing really well. It's not like they're steamrolling; they're unbeaten.
Tell you what, their defensive record's brilliant. They've only conceded 8 all season.
There you go.
It always starts from defence, doesn't it? So that's
very similar, aren't they? With the top two, West Brom and Bournemouth.
That's what I'm looking at. They've only conceded 8 and 9. But I think Bournemouth, I still feel they're going to be the champions. I think this league.
Definitely, definitely. And I think that victory was probably more fitting yesterday for Bournemouth, and for those that were unaware, in the middle of the week, the Wales and Bournemouth midfielder David Brooks was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma earlier on in the week.
Lovely celebration by the Bournemouth players as well.
And it was, it's massive, and obviously we and probably the rest of the footballing world send our regards, and get well soon, David Brooks.
Yeah, get well, David Brooks.
Massive
hopefully
talent.
We'll see you back in a Bournemouth shirt in the future. Hopefully,
definitely. I believe the treatment starts this week for himself. But he's such a talent. 24 years of age. He's still got a fantastic career ahead of him. But yeah, best wishes there to David Brooks. On there, Bristol City, you're currently in 11th. Is he still there or thereabouts? Your mine and AD's shoulda, woulda, coulda team.
That has been for a while.
Premier League at some point. Come on now.
It's been like that for a few. It feels like forever. I've been expecting Bristol City to get in the playoffs or the top 2, and it's just not.
It's just not materialising, is it? You'll get there one day. I said that back in like the late 90s at West Brom. One day we'll get there, when I was a young lad, and then finally, in 2002, we got there finally.
Yep.
I'll never forget that day at Bradford. That was a cracking day. Back to the proceedings. There was kind of a good northern affair. Huddersfield and Hull City. How did that finish?
So it finished Huddersfield 2, Hull 0. So that's Huddersfield in the top 6, still in the playoffs there. It's been a good start compared to recent seasons for Huddersfield, I feel. I think their fans would agree with that. Good start to the season. Hull currently in 21st place, just outside the bottom 3. It was always going to be tough for Hull, but good win for Huddersfield.
The step up back from League One is proving to be a bit difficult for Grant McCann and his team. As for Huddersfield, I think you're right, AD. I think Carlos Corberan is doing a fantastic job with what he's got there, and Huddersfield Towns will just be happy the fact that they're in the top half of the table after that stint at the Premier League.
Absolutely.
And there's some interesting teams. I'm looking at the playoffs now, and it's kind of like the top 9 have all been in the Premier League, and then we've got a couple of sides just outside there. But yeah, I think Huddersfield are doing really well. Who have they got in the week? Huddersfield, Birmingham for Huddersfield, and then Hull. I've got Hull. That's a fixture. That is. I don't even think that's on the telly. I think you can access it though on the red button, can't you, on Sky, the midweek fixtures?
Yeah, Sky Football do the red button midweek games. Yeah.
But yeah, Hull Peterborough, that is a massive relegation battle.
Massive game.
That's it doesn't matter who you are in when you're in that stadium. Either you've got to win that game. A point's just not going to be.
We've seen, to be honest, Peterborough are quite a tough team. I mean, all teams in that league are tough. You just don't know.
You just don't know.
You can't.
Bottom three right now, they could be there or thereabouts by the end of the season, and that's how this league goes. And it's it's mental. It's mental. That's
going to be a game to watch out for, definitely.
Definitely, but we'll remain in the north. Neil Warnock's side, valuable 3 points yesterday.
Yeah, so Middlesbrough, it was Middlesbrough 2, Peterborough 0. Bit of pressure probably off the back of Warnock there. So Middlesbrough in 12th. Like we mentioned, Peterborough are in the bottom three there, 23rd. But much needed win for Middlesbrough, I think that was, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. They held their own, Peterborough, for a fair amount of time. The goals came in the sort of like the last 5 minutes, well, including additional time. McNair with a penalty, and then Cubon got a 93rd minute winner. Obviously the winner for Middlesbrough. But yeah, you're right. I think Middlesbrough, where are they now? Mid-table?
12th. They're in
12,
literally dead
Peterborough.
mid-table, yeah.
Yeah, dead mid-table, and Peterborough, you're still in the relegation zone. But yeah, I think you deserve probably more than that yesterday. The point was probably definitely deserved. From the north to the south, let's head to London and to the New Den.
Yeah, so it finished Millwall 0, Luton 2. Very good win for Luton, that actually. So they're in 10th, Millwall in 14th.
I don't know what it was, but I
Great
saw that
win.
result yesterday, and I thought that is a cracking result. That is a cracking result. Actually, it's not an easy place to go to the Den. And then
No, not for any team. No,
I looked a little bit more into Luton, and they, apart from losing to Bournemouth late on in September,
they've done quite well quietly, haven't they? I feel
they've only lost one game in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the last 7. And then you obviously had that Bournemouth victory over Luton, but they've done quite well. Plenty of draws, actually. Plenty of draws. They had 4 draws on the bounce, Luton Town. So again,
positive goal difference as well. That's always
another
good.
specialist. And talking of that specialist, we talked about them earlier. Derby County, they're playing, so it's Derby Luton in the week. So there's no doubt that'll be a draw for that one. So if you're a betting man, get a draw on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Luton Town 10th. I think that's fantastic. I'd quite like yourselves and Bristol City, as I've mentioned.
We'd both love to see new
teams. I do like new teams, basically. Having a chance to try and dip their toes in the Premier League, and we're seeing that with Brentford, and that should show teams that have ambitions of being in the top flight again.
I mean, we go back to when Huddersfield were first in the Premier League. That was great to see. When Reading first went up a good few years ago now.
Definitely, and like we said earlier, I'm enjoying Brentford's rise, and you know what, they've been a cracking team for 3 years, and Thomas Frank's built that team. But yeah, Huddersfield, under that stewardship there, and Luton Town. Who's to say that you can't finish in that playoff? I think Nathan Jones is doing a great job.
He is doing a great job. He's definitely, like we've mentioned Nathan Jones, haven't we? He's come back to his spiritual home, we both feel, as well.
Definitely, yeah. There's a fair few of those managers about which we've said. But yeah, Millwall 0, Luton Town 2 on that one. To the City Ground.
City Ground. Another win for Steve Cooper. He's come in and got Nottingham Forest going again. So it finished Nottingham Forest 2, Blackpool 1. Sounded like quite a close game, but another 3 points for Forest.
Yeah, I think it went to 1-1. I think Forest got the lead under Johnson. Yates scored for Blackpool, and then that man Lewis Grabban got the winner on the hour mark for Nottingham Forest. But you're right, Aidy. Yeah, since Steve Cooper's come in, that's 3 wins on the bounce. 3 wins on the bounce, 5 games unbeaten since he's come in.
I think they made the right call. Must admit. Oh, looking at it,
with
as much as we respect Chris Hughton for what he's done in the past at other clubs, it just didn't seem to work out at Forest, did it? Really? But
without a doubt,
Steve Cooper's been great.
Absolutely. Just to break character here, we've got a goal. Well, we did have a goal in the fixture at Everton. West Ham did look like they had scored, but it looks like it has been ruled out.
Yeah, it has been ruled out. Still 0-0 in that game.
So still 0-0 there. Nice little finish though. But yeah, you're right. Steve Cooper for Nottingham Forest doing a fantastic job. I think Nottingham Forest will be that surprise team now. I said it at the start of when we started doing these episodes.
If you look at the bottom half of the table, their form is fantastic in the last 5 games.
It's promotion form.
Massively.
It's promotion form, and I've got no doubts that Nottingham Forest should be. If they don't finish in the playoffs now, I'll be quite. And you know what? The next 3 fixtures could give us a real taste of what Steve Cooper can do with this team. Bristol City, Fulham, and QPR.
They're the games that really count now as well.
If they can get points, as long as they don't drop points in any of them games, I honestly believe Nottingham Forest will be there or thereabouts. Blackpool, you're embracing being back in the Championship really well. That's your first defeat. In previously you were 4 games unbeaten, so don't be too disheartened. You go to Reading in the week. We've talked about Preston and Derby. Another Premier League, or two former Premier League sides. I can't remember what their stadium's called now, but I still call it the Majestic. I know you said it a couple
Reading.
of weeks ago.
I did. I saw it earlier, and I've already forgot what it
How
was
did that
called.
go?
But yeah, it was Reading 1, Barnsley 0. Good win for Reading there. They're 7th, just outside the playoff places. Barnsley still struggling. Still can't seem to get a win at the moment. When was the last? That's 4 in a row. 4 defeats in a row now for
Barnsley. 4 defeats in a row now. So yeah, Marcus Schopp came in at the start of the season. It just doesn't seem to be working out for them, and it just shows that, if anything, it just shows the quality of what Alex Moa and Valerian Ismail had as an impact on that team. Yeah, massively.
It does. We're not going to be too biased. We both like Ismail and what he's doing for West Brom, but he did a fantastic job at Barnsley.
He did, and I think it's showing. It's showing now that
massive loss for them.
Under having those two still this season, who knows what Barnsley could have done this season? But yeah, they're really struggling at the moment.
Am I right in thinking Alex Mowat was their captain as well?
He was, yeah.
So they've lost.
So there's another figure.
They've
lost the captain as well, and things like that. But you're right, yeah, four losses on the bounce, all to teams that are pretty much down there as well.
Yeah,
so, and you've got a tricky fixture on Wednesday as you go to Middlesbrough. But yeah, as for Reading, 7th in the league, can you return to the Premier League? When was the last time? Last time you were in the Premier League was in 2013. So it's been a fair while since the last time. Yeah, last time.
8 years. Yeah, 8 years.
Fair while. As for Barnsley, it's been 1998, so it's been a fair few years.
I think Danny Wilson was the boss, wasn't he? Then
it was, yeah. I always wrote, yeah, definitely was. That was a cracking little season for them, actually, back in them days. But yeah, we'll see how they get on as the season goes. And then the last fixture, back up north, back up to Still City. Sheffield United and Stoke.
Yeah, it sounded like a very close game between a resurgent Sheffield United and Stoke, who are having a great season. But it's finished Sheffield United 2, Stoke 1. Sheffield United 13th. Stoke still in the playoffs, in 5th place at the moment, but very good win for Sheffield United, that.
I think so, yeah. And I think I said on Friday night that Stoke could be there or thereabouts. I think they're one of the better teams that West Brom have played this season.
Michael O'Neill's done a great job.
He
really
has
good
indeed.
job since he came.
He has indeed. But in terms of fixtures for yourselves coming up, Sheffield United, you play Millwall in the week, so another opportunity to try and get into that top half of the table. Stoke, and there's the fixture. I can't wait for this one on Tuesday night. Stoke Bournemouth. I think that's going to be an absolute cracking game.
That should be a good game.
Definitely. And we did have a fixture today. So we are recording today on the 17th of October. And it was another derby, and it was in South Wales. And I've got to say, Mick McCarthy, your time is up, my friend.
I have to agree. It's time up. I think he's... Did you say during the game he looked a bit like, yep, I'm done?
There was a point. The Cardiff City fans, as soon as that third goal went in, the Cardiff City fans started singing, "You're getting sacked in the morning." The camera broke to him, and it looked nodded. Like he said, "I know."
Yep. He's one of them characters in the game. He's very honest, isn't he?
Definitely.
He'll know that he's under severe pressure. That's 5 defeats in a row for Cardiff as well. And to lose 3-0 away to your rivals in Wales like that.
It's not good. It's not good. I'm more concerned about the goals they're leaking. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games you've lost on the bounce.
But they don't look like scoring goals either. That's the problem.
Well, no, they've scored 1 goal. They've scored 1 goal in those last 6 games.
It's really desperate times for Cardiff. Massively desperate times. But like we said, I think it's McCarthy's time to go.
15 goals, definitely. Yep. Swansea, that was a fantastic win. A win that was definitely needed under Russell Martin. There's nothing better, especially when you're a new manager to a club. Getting that first derby under your belt and winning. So that will be good for Russell Martin. So it doesn't push you too far up the table. Swansea into 17th. Did you say Cardiff 20th?
Cardiff for 20th, yeah, but that's 5 defeats in a row. 5 different. Where's it?
5 defeats in a row with Fulham coming on Wednesday.
The players really need to. Try not to be harsh. Wake up to the situation a little bit now for the fans.
Definitely, there's only so much emphasis you can put on a manager, but the players do have to take
on the
accountability
pitch.
as well.
They're the ones on the pitch, aren't they? At the end of the day,
I honestly think Cardiff could potentially go 10 games without a win. 10 games losses. They've got Fulham, Middlesbrough, Stoke, QPR, Huddersfield, and then they might get a draw when they play Preston.
The way it's going, I can see them going down unless someone comes in and changes them around massively.
Definitely. Well, I think the last time I said Cardiff, Cardiff will go down, and I'm still going to say Cardiff will go down. Fantastic stuff. Let's have a round-up of the table. So AFC Bournemouth and West Bromwich Albion occupy the automatic spots. Fulham, Coventry, Stoke and Huddersfield are in the playoffs. Reading, Queen's Park Rangers, Blackburn, Luton, Bristol City and Middlesbrough make up the top half.
So in the bottom half, we've got Sheffield United, Millwall, Blackpool, Nottingham Forest, Swansea City, Preston North End, Birmingham City, Cardiff City and Hull City. In the bottom three, the relegation places, we have got Barnsley, Peterborough United and Derby County.
Fantastic stuff. My favourite time of the week. When we come back, it's AD's Strange Fact of the Week. What you got for me then this week, pal?
Today, strange footballing fact from myself. So, only 3 players born after the Premier League began in August of 1992 have scored Premier League hat-tricks, which are Raheem Sterling, Harry Kane and Romelu Lukaku. So, Sterling was born on the 8th of December 1994, Kane 28th of July 1993 and Lukaku 13th of May 1993. So 3 players born after the Premier League started in 1992 have scored career hat-tricks in the Premier League. All babies, yeah.
Yeah, they're all babies in my eyes. Yeah, they're all babies in my eyes. Not a bad effort, is it? Raheem Sterling.
I did actually, when I looked at that fact, I did query thinking about, Mohamed Salah, he scores hat-tricks, but he was actually born in June of 1992, and the season would have started in September.
It would have started, it would indeed, yeah.
So he just missed out.
Good names to have on there. Sterling, Kane, Lukaku, definitely making history for themselves in the Premier League as well.
Absolutely.
We spoke actually as well, and I think you know what I'm about to say. There was another cool little stat that came out in the week. It was about players that had scored
in every
single
minute of every game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you told me about this one during the week, and I thought that is amazing.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Cristiano Ronaldo were, before September this year, the only 2 players who'd scored in every minute of every game. And then Dan actually pointed out that Luis Suarez, was it September?
Yeah, something like that.
September,
yeah,
wasn't it, against Getafe or somebody?
97th minute or something it was.
That was it. But he actually completed the feat as well, scoring a goal in every single minute of the game. So between minutes 1 to 90. Yeah.
Absolutely mad. Absolutely mad, that stat.
It is when you think about it, isn't it? When you look at it, yeah.
Over their career, they've scored in every single minute, which is absolutely phenomenal. And I think that doesn't just branch from 1 to 90. I think that can go like 91, 90. I think it goes up to 97 as well.
Yes.
In terms of minutes in there as well, which is absolutely mental stat.
Shows how many goals they've scored in their careers as well.
And funnily enough, those players would have probably scored hat-tricks actually. Did Zlatan score a hat-trick? Did Zlatan score a hat-trick in the Premier League? He probably did. I don't know whether he did, but
we can find out.
I'm looking at Raheem Sterling.
He definitely has, hasn't he? I'm sure he has.
There's rumours. Yeah. There's rumours in the week that he could potentially leave Manchester City. Looking like Barcelona potentially could be a place where he goes to.
Is that what's come up, has it?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of things.
Pep Guardiola's been quite vocal, hasn't he, about he's not going to keep.
He wants more game time, doesn't he? And there's a fair few Manchester City players that are quite happy doing the rotation things. But if you're Raheem Sterling, you want to play every week, don't you? So,
especially for England, for playing for your country as well.
Definitely, Harry Kane. Obviously, Harry Kane's always linked with whoever. Obviously, his name has been linked with the Newcastle as well. We'll see how that comes about.
I did see a little inkling, yeah.
Yeah, and then Lukaku is absolutely fantastic. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I know Cristiano Ronaldo has. I know Luis Suarez has scored hat-tricks. It'd be interesting to see if Zlatan has as well in the Premier League. When
he has scored a hat-trick for Manchester United. I'm just reading. Let me just see. No, that was a Thursday night. That was Europa League. I don't know if he has scored a. He scored 17 career hat-tricks though, which is pretty phenomenal. But I don't think there's a Premier League one. No, in the French league, in the Italian league. No, it was in the Europa League for Man U. I don't think, unless any Man U fans listening, let us know. But I don't think he did score a Premier League hat-trick?
Just on my archive now, Zlatan. He has not. No, so he hasn't scored a Premier League
He was in the
hat-trick. So
Europa
there we
League
go.
for Man U.
What a fantastic feat for Sterling, Kane, and Lukaku then to be in that
Absolutely.
bracket. For their perfect stuff. AD, thanks very much. You got to keep these coming now, pal.
Shall do.
The more that you're going to run out soon, I think.
Got to keep searching the web. Got to keep thinking on the spot.
Definitely. So perfect stuff. When we come back, it's EFL League One.
So then, EFL League One, how has it been this weekend?
Nice and simple. Yeah, we'll run through this. Nice and simple for the fans of League One. Kicked off on Friday night at the, I don't know whether it's still called the Pirelli Stadium actually, but Burton Albion played Morecambe. What was the score?
Oh, it finished Burton 3, Morecambe 2. 5-goal game there.
5-goal thriller to kick off.
Burton.
Yeah, definitely. A fixture that probably would have been better on the telly than the West Bromwich Albion and Birmingham game, to be honest.
Absolutely have to agree.
But yeah, Burton Albion 3, Morecambe 2. Burton, I think that kicks you up near the top half of the table. Yeah, Morecambe
16th, but they're in League One. Well, I think they've done okay this season so far. What a game as well.
They're our little go-to team, aren't they, for the season, after embracing themselves in this league for the first time, which is always good. But yeah, in terms of, I don't think it was too far off in terms of the game, actually. I think by the sounds of it, it was quite even, but Burton just showing that experience within this league. Let's head to the Saturday fixtures then, and we'll head to AFC Wimbledon.
Yeah, so AFC Wimbledon, they finished AFC Wimbledon 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2. That was probably a point gained for AFC Wimbledon, I'd say. They're 17th. Sheffield Wednesday are 7th, just outside the playoffs. So cracking draw.
Fought back. Yeah, they fought back. They fought back. League Agri got Sheffield Wednesday to 2-0 on the hour mark. And then, Wimbledon fought back. They fought back. Guinness Walkers and Radoni getting the equaliser for them. So I think it's a drop points for Sheffield Wednesday in my eye, especially when you look at the league table now.
It's weird, isn't it? Going to 2, when the team goes up 2-0, it's always that scoreline, isn't it? Not a 1-0, but when it's 2-0, it's always that scoreline where you worry more. Yeah,
I hate it, even as a fan of the clubs that we support. And when you go 2-0 up, you're still sat there, aren't you? Unless it's like the 90th minute. But even then, I'm still like, Christ, something could happen here. But it's not a great fixture. I'd rather have 1-0 than over 2-0 for some strange reason.
Yeah. It's a weird one, isn't it? Like, you'd feel more safe with 1-0 than 2-0.
Absolutely. But yeah, fair point there. Let's head to the again, the theme continues. An old Premier League fixture and a tasty derby.
Yeah, very very tasty derby. I've heard some unsavoury things about this afterwards, actually. Both sides. So Bolton at is it the University of Bolton Stadium? I'm pretty sure it is. So it finished at Bolton 0, Wigan Athletic 4. Obviously, very one-sided game. Wigan got the 3 points, but we don't like to hear all the disturbances and the police issues with crowd trouble from the game. I think it was during and after the game, actually.
It was, yeah.
But yeah, cracking win for Wigan, 4-0. They are currently 3rd place, Bolton 10th. Lancashire derby.
Lancashire derby, yeah, definitely, and a good crowd of 20,000 there yesterday. I think 4,000 of those were actually Wigan. And we're not going to do the jokes on it. I've seen plenty of memes on there saying, why can't they take that many at home and things like that.
That was what sprang to my head. I wasn't going to say it.
But it's a derby. Come on now. It's a derby game. And Bolton 0, Wigan Athletic 4.
Yep.
A fixture, a team that, again, came up this season, Cambridge.
Yeah, so it was Cambridge 2, Ipswich 2, another cracker there.
Not too far away from each other, actually. I think there's only about 50 miles between the two of those. But I think there was something that they said on the telly, and I don't want to say just in case it's wrong, but I think this is like the second or third time that they'd ever met.
Oh, really?
In terms of like at the same level, in terms of like a same level kind of thing, which was I found quite interesting.
It's an interesting one,
actually. Because I've looked at their previous fixtures. This was quite a common friendly that they used to have pre-season because they were never in the same league. And now obviously they're on equal playing field. And again, I think it was another game, maybe. Yes, it was. It was another game with that famous 2-0 going up.
Yeah.
Ipswich went 2-0 up.
Mm.
Yeah, Ipswich went 2-0 up. And then on the 40th minute, Brophy got a goal back for Cambridge, and then Ironside, love that surname, got the equaliser in the 88th minute for Cambridge. Where does that leave them both in the table, Paul?
So yeah,
quite close actually, aren't they? Quite close.
Yeah, Cambridge, you are currently 18th place, and Ipswich in 15th. Looking at the League One table, let's look at the proper table here. Ipswich in 15th on 14 points, Cambridge 18th on 14 points. Literally between 15th and 18th, all on 14. It's just goal difference that separates.
There you go. That still extends.
Very close.
Ipswich Town unbeaten. They've 2 games unbeaten now. You've got Pompey, you've got Portsmouth on Tuesday night. Cambridge,
2 unbeaten as well in the last 2.
Yeah, 2 unbeaten as well. Yeah, 2 draws, 2-2 draws actually.
Yeah.
And then their other draw before that was 2-2 as well. But you've got a tricky fixture, and I would say too tricky. Look at what Wimbledon have just done. But you've got Sheffield Wednesday on Tuesday evening. Another team that's just been recently promoted. Let's go to, is it Gloucestershire? Cheltenham.
Cheltenham Town, yes, they are classed as Gloucestershire. Yes, that's right. It was Cheltenham Town 1, Accrington Stanley 0. Again, 2 teams very close in the table. Cheltenham currently 14th, Accrington Stanley 11th. Sounded again pretty close game there, but Cheltenham got the win, the 1-0 victory.
And a goal from Vassell in the final 10 minutes for those 3 points for Cheltenham. Accrington, you are still in the top half, I believe, actually. I think they're 11th.
Just in the top half, yeah.
And then Cheltenham, you are in 14th position. Let's go to the team that are rooted at the bottom of the table.
Yes, so it was Doncaster versus Wycombe. Doncaster 0, Wycombe 2. Nothing's going right for Doncaster at all at the moment. I mean, they did get the win in their last game. They did, back to defeat again.
I say back to normal ways, beat MK Dons in the previous fixture. But I looked at this fixture and I saw Wycombe and I thought, yeah, that's a win. That's 3 points for Wycombe. And it was quite early doors. Anthony Stewart with the goal, and then Adebo Akinfenwa with a fantastic looping header.
Fantastic! He still got it.
He still hasn't. I think this is his last season.
Yeah, he did announce his retirement, I think.
And it's crazy because he, for many that don't know, Akinfenwa has had a fair few clubs in his time, and Doncaster was one of them. He actually scored, and he hadn't played for him for 17 years, and he didn't celebrate.
Good on him. Fair play
for that one. Let's head to up north. Let's go to Fleetwood.
Yeah, so Fleetwood Town 3, Crewe Alexandra 0. Again, Crewe down with Doncaster struggling. Crewe in 23rd place. That's Fleetwood. They were unbeaten before this game, to be fair, but that's a defeat. Fleetwood Town, you are in 19th place. That's a very good win there, actually. Looking how close the bottom of the table is.
It was very even. It was very even this game and then once the hour mark came, Fleetwood just turned it on. Then as soon as that first goal went in, Crewe down. But Johnson, Andrew, and Garner with the goals there for Fleetwood. Perfect. A really tasty fixture actually down at Kent, down in Kent, Gillingham and Sunderland.
Yeah, I saw the score and I thought that was pretty close actually, especially who was involved. But it was Gillingham 1, Sunderland 2. Gillingham, you're in 20th place. Sunderland up to 4th in the playoffs as it stands.
Gillingham, in my eyes, deserved a point in that game. There was a good opportunity because Sunderland did go down to 10 men. It was actually a reckless challenge from Embleton. And he knew it.
I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, he knew it. He knew it as well. But yeah, Gillingham got things underway with Lloyd McGoldrick, a penalty to put them 1-0 up. O'Brien and then Flanagan with the goal. But yeah, a couple of last-ditch saves from the Sunderland goalkeeper kept them in that game. But yeah, you're right. I think Sunderland are doing what they should be doing, grinding out the results of these games to try and get back into the Championship this season. And Gillingham, you need to get some wins. Yeah, we need to start getting some wins for yourselves. Currently in 20th position on there. Definitely. Let's go to Sincil Bank for Lincoln.
So Lincoln City 2, Charlton 1. The struggles continue massively for Charlton this season. You're lying in 22nd place in the bottom 4. It's not been a great start to the season.
It's not going well for Nigel Adkins. There's a fair few managers now in that relegation zone that are quite experienced, and Nigel Adkins
isn't there? We mentioned this, didn't we? Steve Evans at Gillingham, like you said,
Richie
Nigel
Wellens,
Adkins at Charlton. Yeah,
Richie Wellens,
there's some very experienced, but they're massively in the wrong half of the table. All these.
I got one for you actually, AD. The Crewe manager, David Artell. He's actually from Gibraltar.
Is he now?
Yeah. So
Did he
I
play for the
mentioned.
national team at one point?
Not too sure. Not too sure. Maybe
It rings a bell.
we'll bring. Yeah, I think it does, doesn't it? We'll bring that up next week. We'll bring that up next week for Crew's next fixture.
Like Dan, we've mentioned this before. There's
But
so
fair
much
few
experience in that bottom 4-5. It's
There
crazy.
is. There absolutely is. But yeah, Lincoln, Michael Appleton came on the winning end yesterday. Lincoln 2, Charlton 1. With Lincoln 13th, Charlton 22nd. Can we? I don't know. It's too early to say, but could Charlton be in the lower league, the lowest league of football?
They haven't been. When was the last time they were in League Two? Have they been in League Two?
They probably have.
It must have been a while ago.
It's probably been a fair while. If you, you
I will
crack
have a
on.
look. I will have a look.
You crack on and have a look. But yeah, Charlton fans, could you drop out of League One? I still think you're a team that's experienced enough. You've got a manager that's there that can pull you out of it. But we'll see. Let us know where it comes for that. Just while ladies checking that out, Oxford United 1, Plymouth Argyle 3. Plymouth Argyle fans, you did go 1-0 down in that game, but you again showed that spirit, that character. You're still top of the table, still showing this league that you are here to fight it out when it comes to that. But yeah, Plymouth Argyle, you are flying.
They've been great this season, haven't
Kamara, yeah, they have. They really have. And then Matty Taylor with the goal for Oxford, but they're doing really well when it comes to that. When it comes to the next fixture, Rotherham 4, Portsmouth 1. So Portsmouth, your struggles still
I saw that result
and I was away from home. Yeah, they're still struggling away from home when it comes to that. Yeah, definitely with that. League, yeah, I don't know. Your away form's got to pick up. Rotherham, that was definitely a result that was needed. You're still in the playoffs, but Portsmouth, you are currently bang on in terms of being
mid-table, on the dot.
In there. And then the last fixture of the weekend. I'll let you crack on with this one. It's a good little. I think it's a good story. This one.
Yeah, so it was, what was the last fixture? Shrewsbury 1, MK Dons 0. Yeah, what a win for Shrewsbury. They've had a very tough start this season. Still in 21st place, but they beat 6th place MK Dons 1-0. Cracking victory. Really much needed win. And we've talked about grinding out wins in the top half of the table, but the bottom half as well. Even maybe a bit more sweeter, I'd say.
I'd say so. Yeah, that's a massive win for Steve Cottrell. Bless him. He struggled when he got diagnosed with COVID last year, so he was out of the game, off the sidelines for a fair while.
He was really ill, wasn't he?
But you got to be proud. You got to be proud now, Shrewsbury. You are still in the relegation zone. Sorry, but you are sitting on the top of that tree with Charlton Crew and Doncaster underneath you. MK Dons, you're still in the playoffs. You're still in the playoffs in terms of results wise. Again, these are games that you've got to be winning, especially on the back of beating Wycombe. Well, that was a fantastic win, beating Wycombe in the EFL Trophy, probably. But in terms of league, you've lost to Shrewsbury and Doncaster in your last two in the league. You've got to be beating teams, and I'm looking at the teams that you are beating, and you're beating the teams that are there and thereabouts around you, but you're struggling against the teams that can't pick up a win for love or money. That bottom half of the
not
table.
the team they should be losing to at all.
There. In terms of Charlton, it was the 1980-1981 season.
Yeah, I was just struggling to find that. Yeah,
that was the last.
Division
3,
I
was because that was when it was 3 divisions, and
that
would have been the lowest. Yeah, that would have been the lowest of the football league.
Back in the day, when it used to be, rather than Championship, League 1, League 2, it was literally Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, and I think there was an old Division 4 as well.
That's it. If for Charlton Athletic fans, in terms of when you launched, your first season was in 1919-1920, and you're in the Kent League, I believe it was. Yeah, the Kent League, and then you moved to the Southern League, and then you were in
Division
the
3S. It says.
Yeah, so you're only
Division
so that was
South,
when
maybe?
Division 3. So there's a good little history lesson. So back then, Division 3 was actually split up into North and South back in them days. And there's obviously been calls for that quite recently to bring that back, to try and limitize travelling and things like that, especially with what we've just had with COVID over the last 18 months and things like that. But yeah, in terms of, so that's League One. That's League One. In terms of the table, Plymouth Argyle and Wycombe Wanderers, you are the two that are occupying the automatic spots in the playoffs. Wigan, Sunderland, Rotherham and Milton Keynes Dons, Sheffield Wednesday, Burton Albion, Oxford United, Bolton, Accrington Stanley and Portsmouth make up the top 12.
So in the bottom half from 13 onwards, it's Lincoln City, Cheltenham Town, Ipswich Town, Morecambe, AFC Wimbledon, Cambridge United, Fleetwood Town, Gillingham. In the bottom 4, we have got Shrewsbury Town, Charlton Athletic, Crewe Alexandra, and Doncaster Rovers.
Fantastic stuff as the players come back out for the second half at Goodison Park. Still 0-0 Everton versus West Ham. But when we come back, it's EFL League 2.
So, EFL League 2. Since we've obviously started the podcast, this is slowly becoming my favourite league, I must say. It's
definitely. Definitely. I think the more, because we've been quite narrow tunnel visioned, haven't we, really?
Yeah.
Especially over the probably years now.
Maybe.
Yeah, Premier League and probably Championship have been the leagues that we follow more. But this podcast has actually brought a fond love for the lower leagues, not just League One and League Two as well, but non-league,
even non-league,
in complete general. But there were some fantastic fixtures in League Two over the weekend, and it started all up at Valley Parade as Bradford City played Bristol Rovers.
Yeah, so Bradford City, Bristol Rovers
2-2.
2-2 draw. Sorry, my system's decided to play up there. Yes,
That's okay.
2-2 draw. Hell of a game. We always think back to Bradford City back in a long time ago when they were in the Premier League.
98, I think it was. 98.
It still feels a little bit weird to see them in League Two.
It does, yeah. I'd always think of that fixture when they played Liverpool. I think it was the last day to survive in that Premier League, which was always good. But for Bristol Rovers fans, that was in my eyes, that's a very good point, especially when Brett Pittman gets a 91st minute equaliser.
Brad Pittman still going.
Yeah, still going.
Wow.
Still going.
Brett Pittman, sorry, isn't it?
Brett Pittman, yeah, still going.
Wow.
But that's a fantastic point. Bradford City, that leaves you 10th. Yeah, in 10th. And then for Bristol Rovers, you are in 16th. So you're getting, the results are coming now, aren't they? Bristol Rovers.
You mentioned last week, Bristol Rovers, the Joey Barton talk. Obviously, he's been struggling this season, in all honesty, with Rovers. Any managerial talk? We did speak last week, didn't we? Any rumours or anything?
Nothing. I think they're still happy with Joey Barton.
Still going along.
To be honest with you, I think things are picking up ever so slowly. There's 2 games now unbeaten in the league. Apart from that Swindon game, there would have been 4. There would have been 4 unbeaten. So, but they've got some fixtures coming up that really need to maximise in terms of points for them. I think Colchester on Tuesday, and then they've got Newport on the weekend. But there's still nothing. I think Joey Barton's probably their man for now, unless things really, really go downhill for them. But for Bradford, Derek Adams is your manager at Bradford. Doing well, 10th in the league. I look at Bradford and I think, because that Premier League that we've just spoken about, you should be League One Championship kind of side in my eyes.
I'd say so.
But in
terms of the size of the club and fans and everything, definitely.
Definitely, and then we'll go pretty much up to the Scottish borders for Carlisle, a team at the minute that's under Gavin Skelton after Chris Beach got relieved of his duties as manager there. But you're now in the relegation zone, Carlisle United.
Yeah, struggles are continuing for Carlisle. So it finished Carlisle United 0, Tranmere 1. That is the 4th defeat in a row for Carlisle. For Tranmere, however, you are currently in 4th place. That's your 3rd win in a row.
3rd win in a row for Tranmere. Yeah, we can't say that. I'm just.
It was literally a game of top half.
It really was, yeah. And Tranmere, you're really embracing now. You're 4th in the league. Carlisle, you have dropped into those last 2 positions. I think a manager's needed there quite quickly.
Is that Gavin Skelton, the caretaker at the moment?
He's the caretaker at the minute, yeah. So whether he is under consideration or but they do need someone coming quick, bit more
stability
time to
quickly.
Try and steady that ship for there. Because Carlisle are always one of those teams that you always see down that bottom of the table, but they never actually reach. Yeah, they never actually get to non-league, but they always manage to survive one way or another. In terms of teams that have been struggling quite recently as well, and I'm quite shocked to see them in 19th position still at the minute. They got a fantastic win yesterday, our friends in Essex, and that was Colchester United.
Yeah, so Colchester United 1, Harrogate Town 0. Fantastic victory for Colchester.
And it was a fantastic victory, I've got to say, because especially when you're a team that it's been struggling, you lost the last two before that. Form hasn't been too great, but when you score pretty much a last-minute winner against a team that have been pretty much dominant so far.
Harrogate have been great, haven't they?
Yeah, they have been. And like we say every week, don't we, Paul? It's you can't win every game.
No.
But yeah, Colchester won, Harrogate nil. Fantastic. Harrogate, don't worry, you're still in second. You've got some fixtures coming up in the week. You are at home to Tranmere. Top of the table clash there.
Yeah,
It's going to be a nice, tasty one. That one.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see on that one. And then our brand new friends that are embracing back into the Football League after all those years away. I always still think of Sutton United, and sorry, Coventry City fans, I always think of that FA Cup shot.
Yeah.
Sutton. Yeah, but another win yesterday, wasn't it, AD?
I love this story for Sutton United since they've come back up to League Two. So yeah, it finished Crawley Town 0, Sutton United 1. Sutton United fans, you are in 5th place in League Two in your
very
first
strange
season.
Goal. When you get a chance, it's a very strange goal. Olaofe with the goal for them, but still in the playoffs, aren't they? Surely.
Yeah. Sutton United, yeah, you're 5th place.
Not lost a game in
12th.
Not lost a game in 4 in the league.
Great.
5 games unbeaten. Because they've got a really good win in the week in the EFL Trophy over Portsmouth down at Franton Park as well. So they're doing really well. Nice little fixture for them on Tuesday night as Swindon Town head to Sutton for that one. But yeah, Crawley.
Going back to Crawley, John Yems, did he have anything to say this week?
He didn't. No, nothing.
He's staying quiet, is he?
Stay quiet. I haven't seen him for a while now, so I can't wait for him to.
I hope he comes out and says something.
Embrace us with his presence once more.
Please do, John Yems.
He's fantastic. But Crawley, you're still in the top half of the table. Sutton United
12.
In the playoffs. Let's head down to Devon and Exeter.
Yeah, so it finished Exeter City 2, Newport County 2. Another team, Newport County, still got their caretaker boss, haven't they? Is it Wayne Hatswell? Hatswell, sorry.
Hatswell, I think it is, yeah.
Was it Michael Flynn you mentioned, rumoured? Potentially there was a rumour or talk.
So Michael Flynn left Newport after being there.
He did leave there.
He was there, but obviously of my own speculations, I kind of said Bristol Rovers would be quite an ideal place for him to go to.
Yes, sorry, you did say that. Yeah.
Maybe with that Carlisle job being free, maybe that's somewhere where he can go. Maybe there's a team in. I think Michael Flynn's a great manager. Maybe there's some teams maybe in the lower half of League One where he could go to. I
do remember the depths where Newport came from to get to League Two. Did a fantastic job.
Definitely. Completely agree. Yeah, completely agree on that one. But yeah, a fantastic result. Exeter City 2, Newport County 2 for that one. Bit of a down to Brisbane roads. We'll get rid of this one. Sorry, Leyton Orient and Walsall fans.
Yeah,
0-0 draw.
Sorry, guys, 0-0. That was it, really.
Nothing much to say on that one, really. Leyton Orient, you're still in the playoffs. Walsall, probably a point that's needed after recent form for yourself. So any point gained is absolutely fantastic there. Let's go to the Cobblers. Big win.
Yeah, Northampton Town 2, Mansfield 0. Struggles continue for Mansfield, but Northampton, you're in 8th place. Very good win.
You're in 8th place, and I think I said last week, didn't I? I said Mansfield Town, where they were in the table at the time, but it just shows just what one win and what the results around you can do, because you can go from pretty much 17th up to 8th.
Yeah, we talked about Northampton, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
So last 5 games, they've drawn 2, lost 2, and then they got this win. We even said how close it was in the bottom half, and now look at them, 8th place after that win.
It's crazy. It's mad. You said it last week, didn't you?
Yeah.
3 points, a couple of teams above you lose, and you all of a sudden you're in the playoffs.
Literally joint points with Leyton Orient, who've had a good start to the season, and little slip here and there with 2 draws. It's crazy.
Definitely,
definitely. So close.
But Mansfield Town still can't buy a win.
No. Mansfield Town, that's 5 games without a win, 3 draws and 2 lost in the last 5 games.
To put it into perspective, Mansfield Town, you've not won a game since the 14th of August against Newport.
Yeah. Tough times ahead.
Which considering the start you had to the season, won the first 2 games.
And that was it.
Well,
And then it
you're
just,
unbeaten in the first three, and then it
yeah,
just catapulted. It just went absolutely downhill from there. And you've got some tough fixtures coming up. Port Vale and Exeter next for you
yeah,
in the next couple of fixtures. But yeah, Northampton, fantastic win up into the playoffs. A team that has been struggling as of late. A team that we didn't think would be down there, but they are now
no,
showing a bit of form, a bit of character, and that's Oldham Athletic, who I
aren't they
believe
just? Aren't they
that's
just?
2 unbeaten now for them.
Yeah, so it finished Oldham Athletic 3, Stevenage 0. Oldham 21st place, 2 places above the relegation zone. Just below Stevenage. What a cracking win.
And I was
What a
about to say,
brilliant
yeah,
win.
and you know what? And that's what the win needs, isn't it? That 3-0 victory against a team that is there or thereabouts around you in that table
Hmm.
is what you need.
It must do so much for confidence when, like you said, when you're beating teams in and around you as well. What a booster. And a 3
You've
0
got to.
victory and the clean sheet as well. Clean sheet.
There you go, straight away. Yeah, get that goal difference up because it's all those is going to take into account when it comes towards the end of the season. And I think for Oldham fans, it's probably great not to see you in those red marks at the
Mhm.
bottom of the table in those relegations.
Definitely.
So I think it's the first time probably this season
I'd say
that you
so,
haven't.
yeah.
But yeah, there's a big. You know what? There's some massive teams. There's some massive teams down the bottom of that table.
I mean, we've said we've mentioned Bristol Rovers. We could
Rochdale,
possibly put
Walsall.
Salford City into the big teams category there, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I'm not. No,
No, no.
in my eyes, they're still juniors to the football
Bradford
league.
City. I mean, they're just in the top half, but they've
Yeah,
they've not had the best of starts to the season.
but like Oldham and
Yeah,
Colchester and things like that.
down the
I know
bottom half.
Colchester.
Yeah,
I know Colchester have been in non-league, not recently, but in sort of like last 20 years, I think it is, or even more for them. But yeah, there's some big ties down there. But a fantastic win for Oldham. A team that's back in the Football League after all those years. They've spent that first season last year. They've come up against a really, really fantastic Port Vale team at the minute. A bit of quality coming from Port Vale. 3-1. Was it 3-1? AD Port Vale 3, Barrow 1.
yes. So it finished Port Vale 3, Barrow 1. Barrow fans, I don't think you can really
No,
take to heart this because Port Vale have been fantastic this season.
I think they
Um,
both have, to be
but yeah,
honest. I
yeah,
think both teams have. I think for different reasons. Barrow,
definitely.
they'll just be happy where they are. Again, they've got a great manager in Mark Cooper. It'll be tough to keep hold of him if some of the other jobs in that league or maybe League One come about because he is a cracking manager, Mark Cooper. But for Port Vale, Darryl Clark, yeah, doing a great job for there. It'd be good to see you back in League One. It'd be really good
Hmm.
to see Port Vale back in League One after all these years.
Been a while, hasn't it? Yeah. When was the last time
Yeah.
they were
I
in
think
League
I
One? A
mentioned
few
it
years
last
ago.
week. I think I mentioned it last week, but I'll double check again. I'll bring it back up. But yeah,
So in my
I think
mind, I generally think of them as a League One team, just automatically in my head, I presume, and then
I
you forget they're in
I
League
remember
Two.
the Albion. Yeah, I remember the Albion
Mm.
playing. Well, Port Vale were last in League One. I think 2016, 2017. That was the last
Not
time they were in Port.
not too long ago, but it's been 5 years or so, hasn't it? Or
Yeah,
four
but
years, sorry.
I remember the
Mm.
early '90s, like the mid '90s, sorry, where Port
Mm.
Vale were were a fixture against West Brom, and I'll also remember, sorry, Port Vale fans, it was one of my first ever games, 1993, that Division Two playoff final, when West Brom played yourselves in the old Division Two
Yeah,
playoff
yeah,
final.
yeah,
That was one of my earlier experiences of being an Albion fan back then. But yeah, fantastic. It'd be good for Port Vale to be back in the Football League after what 4 or 5 years away
yeah. It'd be
for
great
themselves.
for
But
Port Vale fans. Yeah,
Barrow,
absolutely.
fantastic. You're still mid-table. As long as you remain in the Football League, I think that's all that matters. And
That's
yeah,
all. That's going to be their main objective, isn't it? But what a great start to the season, really.
definitely. And hey, not to, I'll probably curse it now or jinx it. But you've on Tuesday night, Barrow, you've got Scunthorpe who just can't buy a win in the minute. So that's a really good opportunity
Yeah,
to
hopefully
get another
that's
three
not a jinx.
points, get yourself back up there. Absolutely. Port Vale, you've got Mansfield.
Mm. Can Mansfield buy a win?
That's well,
That's the big
no, and
question.
from one team that can't buy a win to a manager that's starting to get some wins, Gary Bowyer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so Salford City 2, Hartlepool 0. Gary Bowyer, much needed victory, a little bit of pressure eased possibly, but not with the Salford job, I don't think. He's always going to feel the pressure, isn't he?
No, I think that Warsaw loss last week was a bit of a hard one to take, especially
Hmm.
after the back of the 2-0 win against Colchester. But again, it's a win's a win. And at the end of
Absolutely.
the day, they're not. I think nailed it on the head there. They're still relatively a young football league team because it's like third season, I think now.
Yeah, it's only been. It feels like a while, but it has only been the
It
last
does,
3
yeah, and I
seasons.
think it only feels
Really.
like a while because of Neville and Scholes and all that.
Yeah,
The class of those
because of how long
boys.
they've
So,
been around. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, fantastic win for them. From one end to the other, so we go to Scunthorpe. So it was top versus bottom.
Yeah, like you mentioned, Dan, Scunthorpe cannot buy a victory at all. Finished Scunthorpe 0, Forest Green 2. Forest Green Rovers. That was again a much needed, weirdly, a much needed win for them after their defeat last week as well. So to get back to winning ways for them, but
It's 5 losses on the
Scunthorpe,
bounce.
yeah, 1 win all season after 12 games, 4 draws and 7 defeats.
Sorry,
Not good at
Scunthorpe
all.
fans. That's 5 losses in all competitions on the bounce. So
Yeah,
4 in the league and then 1, including the EFL trophy as well.
yeah,
It's tough. Tough. Barrow's next for them, and then at the weekend you've got Crawley. So
tough times.
it is, yeah, massively tough times for Scunthorpe. There, in terms of how long you've been in the football league now, Scunthorpe. What's the but in terms of let's not take away Forest Green Rovers.
No.
What's the record for Forest Green? I think they lost last weekend, though,
This
didn't they?
season, yeah, they lost last weekend. Last 5 games, it's been 3 wins, a draw, and a loss. But overall, they've played 12, won 8, drawn 2, lost 2. 4 points clear at the top. So it was good for them to get back to winning ways and keep a little bit of a barrier there at the top. Yeah,
Definitely. Well, and Scunthorpe fans, you haven't been in non-league football since the 50s, or 1950. So it'll be a shame to see it. What, that was 71 years.
yeah. So
Been
that'll
in the
be a
football
shame,
league.
a massive
Yeah,
shame if they were to drop this season to
definitely,
non-league. Yeah.
massively, at that point. And then the last game in the in EFL League Two was down at the county ground.
Yeah, so it was Swindon. Swindon 2, Rochdale 2. That is the third 2-all fixture in this league this weekend. Yeah, great game.
We'll
Another
have to
great
count
game.
how many 2-2s there were actually across all the
Overall, in all the
leagues.
leagues, I feel like we've said 2-2 quite a fair few times in the Championship League 1 and 2, haven't we?
So Premier League we didn't get any. In the
No.
Championship we had
Did
one.
we say?
We had one in the Championship.
Yeah.
And then one.
League 1 there was a few. It feels
There
like
was
there
only one.
was.
Yeah, it
Was it just
feels like it
one?
was, but there was only one. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, 3 in League 2, so that's 5 overall.
There
But
you
there was
go.
a few 2-alls from Championship League 1 and League 2. But yeah, Swindon 2, Rochdale 2. Swindon Town, you are currently in 6th place in the playoffs in 6th.
Looking for that immediate return back to League One.
Rochdale, 17th place, bottom half of the table, but good point earned for them. It's a crazy bottom half though. There's literally 4 teams on 13 points.
And that's what I'm saying. One win, a few
Yeah,
losses around you, you're in the playoffs. It's absolutely
exactly.
crazy. It's mental to think Swindon Town. It's been 21, well, coming up 22 years since you were last in like the top 2 divisions of English football. It's crazy. You got relegated in 2000.
That is crazy, actually. Yeah, because they were a Premier League team, weren't they? Once upon a time.
They were, yeah.
Once
That's the
upon a
thing.
time, yeah.
Once upon a time, yeah.
Early
But it's
90s.
absolutely crazy to think. In terms of Rochdale, I'm just trying to see. I think maybe Football League wise, Rochdale, you've only ever been in the top 2. I might be wrong. I'm just looking now.
They feel like a League 1, League 2, like a bounce. Has it been bounced back between them leagues?
Pretty much,
Possibly?
yeah. So they've
Old
been
Division
in the
2, Old
football,
Division 3?
yeah. They've been in the Football League since 1922,
Hmm.
and they've pretty much, yeah. They've never reached the top 2 divisions. So they've been in League Two, obviously. They've been League One. They've been in League One because they've got relegated last season from League One. But they've never made the champion. They've never made it to like Division One, like
No,
Championship or anything like that. So
they
yeah.
never quite got there.
So that rounds up. That rounds up. Yeah, EFL League Two. Some tasty games again in that league. But league that's very very close to our hearts now. As the season goes on and the more experience we get. Hopefully the more chatter we can get from you guys on social media as well from there. But in terms of the table, automatic spots are Forest Green Rovers, Harrogate Town and Port Vale. In the playoffs, you've got Tranmere Rovers, Sutton United, Swindon Town, Leyton Orient. Then you've got Northampton, Exeter, Bradford, Hartlepool and Crawley who make up the top half.
In the bottom half, we've got Barrow in 13th, followed by Newport County, Salford City, Bristol Rovers, Rochdale, Walsall, Colchester United, Stevenage, Oldham Athletic, Mansfield Town. The bottom 2, so in 23rd, Carlisle United, 24th, Scunthorpe United.
Fantastic stuff. When we come back, it's all about non-league, but it's the FA Cup fourth qualifying round.
So Dan, FA Cup fourth qualifying round, the last bit of qualifying before the first round proper. How are we looking this weekend? Was there any cracking ties or?
There's been plenty of actual teams that have caused upsets. In that, which is always good.
Very good
what we'll
to
do is we'll quickly run through, and I've got the draw as well, so I'll go through the draw as well.
Mhm.
But let's have a look at the fixture. So we've got AFC Sudbury. They beat Dartford 3-1. So Sudbury are in the 8th tier of English football, with Dartford in the 6th tier. So there's an upset there. We've got another upset as Banbury United played Bath City. 1-0 victory there for Banbury. Boreham Wood. Yeah, Boreham, Barnet 0, Boreham Wood 1. But Boreham Wood, they're both in the same division. But yeah, Boreham Wood just showing what they're still doing in the league, and they're taking it into the cup as well. Then the next one, so we have Bedfont Sports. They played Kidderminster Harriers. And how did that one go, AD?
That one finished Bedfont Sports 0, Kidderminster Harriers 1. What do we know where Bedfont Sports are in terms of the pyramid?
Bedfonts, they are in the eighth
tier.
Yeah, the 8th tier.
Okay, so not a bad, close game really, because Kidderminster are a few above, aren't they?
Yeah, couple of leagues above them in that one. Yeah. So I think they held themselves, got to the fourth qualifying round, which is always good on there. Next fixture was at Boston United. I think a good draw, so a replay on Tuesday night for Stratford Town, who are a league below Boston United there. First big shock was Bowers and Pitsea, who are in the 7th tier. Yeah, it's good, ain't it? The 7th tier of English football. They beat Aldershot Town, who are in the National Premier. They beat them 2-1.
Love a shock. Nice.
Yep. I think the next fixture was a draw.
Yeah, it was Brackley Town 1, Guiseley 1. So that's going to be a replay, isn't it, that one?
Yep, replay on Tuesday night.
When are the replays?
Both in the same league. Tuesday night.
Week.
Yeah,
cool.
Tuesday night. Then we did have the FA Cup. BBC Online, obviously, they do show a fixture at 12:30 from each league on the red button when it's the qualifying rounds. And this time round, it was Bromsgrove Sporting, who are now quite close to yourself. They played Grimsby Town. It was one-sided. It was a 5-0 victory for Grimsby Town in that one. Another draw, I think. Next one.
Yep. The next one was Corinthian Casuals, another cracking name. 1. St Albans City 1. So another replay. Is that Tuesday as well? Are they all Tuesday? Are they
all Tuesday? Yep. All Tuesday. I'll let you do the next one because I know.
Yes. Curzon Ashton 0, Chesterfield 4. Standard victory for Chesterfield. Yeah, Curzon.
Yeah, Curzon are doing really well in the national leagues. But yeah, they came up against a team,
a very informed Chesterfield, to be honest,
who are doing really well.
They actually did we speak about? No, we haven't. No, because it's obviously FA Cup. But yeah,
FA
Chesterfield.
Cup, yeah.
Jamie Rowe, their boss, Southend United came calling, and Chesterfield said no. Yep, because he's been fantastic, and why would you lose him?
Yeah, I've always had this in as years have gone by when managers drop from a team that are flying high in the league to someone that's languishing the bottom, and it's kind of like, just stay where you are.
Yeah, why would you?
You're doing well.
I know it's why. Yeah. Thankfully, he's staying put because he's done a brilliant job at Chesterfield. They're looking very good for promotion back to League 2 potentially.
Yep.
So yeah, he stayed.
Lovely stuff. Dorking Wanderers 2, Hayes and Yedden 2. We got Dover Athletic 1, Yate Town 1. So a cracking replay there for Yate Town on Tuesday night. Another Tuesday fixture for a replay. Eastleigh 3, Folkestone Invicta 3.
Cracking.
And then you got Ebbsfleet United. They're in the next one with a 2-0 victory over Hemel Hempstead. Harrow Borough. This was a shock. Harrow Borough 4, Chelmsford City 2.
What a game as well. Fair play.
I'll let you do the next one.
Yes. Hereford 0, Solihull Moors 1. It's a little bit of a derby game.
Definitely, yeah. I'd consider it like a Midlandish derby there.
Yeah, thereabouts. But 1-0 victory for Solihull Moors, so they're through to the first round proper.
Another shock, Horsham beat Woking 1-0. Woking have done quite well recently in the National League, but yeah, Horsham are in the 7th tier, so 2 leagues below Woking, and they walked away with a 1-0 victory there. A team that you mentioned actually last week, Bromley, who have got a couple of games in hand in the league that could cause a bit of a stir in the National League. They managed to get through into the next round after beating Hungerford Town. Kettering Town 2, Buxton 2, Kings Lynn Town 2, Peterborough Sports 1, Maidenhead United 3, Hastings 1. I'll let you do the next one. It's an old favourite from a couple of years ago now,
Marine,
maybe.
when they played Tottenham, wasn't it?
They did.
The little team in Liverpool, aren't they?
Yep.
So it finished. Marine 1, Wrexham 1. Great replay for Marine.
Great, and they're in the first round draw again, which is fantastic for them.
Could you imagine if Ryan Reynolds, which I don't know, has he turned up to a Wrexham game? Do we know? I haven't heard anything. Have they actually been in the box?
He did when the takeover happened, but obviously he hasn't because of travel and things like that.
Yeah, and he's got his films.
And he's
got
his commitments as well.
Recently,
but he's very, very active. He's very, very Wrexham pro.
Yeah,
on his
the
social
videos
media.
Been great actually, to be honest. Yeah.
But yeah, cracking replay from Marine there for
cracking
Tuesday night.
Stuff, yeah.
And another cracking replay for a team is Marsk United. Nil, Gateshead nil. For those that are not sure where Marsk United are, it's just around the Middlesbrough area. In that northern area there. Yeah. A very, very tasty kind of Yorkshire derby is another replay then for Tuesday night is Pontefract Collieries 0, Halifax Town 0. Southend United started life after Phil Brown. Phil Brown did finally get relieved of duties for Southend United, but they got a 4-1 win. No shock for Chertsey Town, who play 3 leagues below Southend United now. But yeah, Southend United 4, Chertsey Town 1. Southport 2, Altrincham 3. Stockport County 3, Stamford 0. And I'll let you do the next one.
Yeah, it was then the following game, Tamworth 0, Notts County 0.
Cracking draw.
Great draw for Tamworth, I'm going to say on that one. Definitely.
Poor result for Notts County.
Absolutely. Very poor. They're doing okay league-wise, aren't they, this season? But that's a poor draw.
Poor draw, yeah, and a replay that's probably not needed.
No, definitely not. We know how the fixtures get in that league, yeah.
Yeah, fixtures pile up massively in this league, which is always a struggle. But yeah, Torquay United 2, Havant and Waterlooville 2, Wellston 1, Dagenham and Redbridge 2, Yeovil Town 1, Weymouth 1, and York City 1, Morpeth Town 1. So those are the fixtures. Well, definitely, yeah, especially going to a team like York, and they're only one league apart from each other. But take it back to Morpeth, you might get yourself
a tasty replay.
Replay. But in terms of the draw, so the FA Cup first round draw took place earlier today, and that includes League One and League Two. So I'll run through these for you. Actually, let me just share that link with my friend so he can see some as well. I'll just popped it into our chat, buddy, for you there. But yeah, the FA Cup first round draw. So the fixtures are Bradford City versus Exeter City. Sunderland play Mansfield Town. It's Dorking Wanderers or Hayes United versus Sutton United.
Oh, that'd be good.
Big fixture for League One. Sheffield Wednesday versus Plymouth Argyle.
Yep.
Dagenham and Redbridge versus Salford City. So non-league versus league. This one's, I feel like this is going to be tricky. Corsham, obviously, they've just beaten Woking in the league. They travel north.
Potential upset, possibly.
Definitely, yeah. Carlisle United versus Horsham is that fixture there. We've got an all non-league affair in Dover Athletic or Yate Town versus Yeovil Town or Weymouth. Scunthorpe United versus Doncaster Rovers. So League One versus League Two, bottom of the table clash.
That could be interesting.
In that one. Yeah. Good little fixture here, actually, I think. League One versus non-league. Rotherham United versus Bromley. I think Bromley are doing really well so far this season.
Very well this season, yeah.
Yep. Next fixture, I think, potentially is one that will be on the telly. And that's Portsmouth versus Harrow Borough. Gillingham versus Cheltenham Town. Morecambe versus Newport County. You've got Banbury United versus Barrow. So another fixture that potentially could be on the telly, especially with it being at Banbury.
Yeah, definitely.
Fleetwood Town versus Burton Albion. This is the one that I've seen. The next fixture is the one that I've seen on social media, which definitely sounds like it could be on the telly, which is AFC Sudbury versus Colchester United. Northampton Town versus Cambridge United. And I'm running out of air, so I'll let you take over.
Yeah. Where did we get to? Sorry, Northampton,
Northampton Town.
Cambridge. Yep. Northampton versus Cambridge United. Just to break this up, West Ham have just scored 1-0 to West Ham, 73 minutes gone. So yeah, Everton 0, West Ham 1. But I'll continue now with this. So Corinthian Casuals or St Albans versus Forest Green Rovers. Then we've got Boston United or Stratford Town versus Shrewsbury Town. Pontefract Collieries or Halifax Town versus Maidenhead United. Old League
Great
Two fixture here, actually.
Great
Chesterfield versus Southend United. That could be a good game. Rochdale versus Tamworth or Notts County. Kidderminster Harriers versus Grimsby Town. This could be a good game as well for Solihull Moors. They are facing a trip away to Wigan Athletic, who are doing very well in League One this season. So non-league Solihull Moors could be a cracking fixture there. Could be a big upset. Bournemouth versus Eastleigh or Folkestone Invicta. York City or Morpeth Town versus Kettering Town or Buxton. Ipswich Town versus Oldham Athletic.
I swear that was an early Premier League fixture back in the day.
I think so. 93, 94, I believe.
Yeah.
I reckon that was the season they would have met. Yeah. I'm pretty certain on that. Not concrete, but I'm pretty sure.
I'll have a look.
AFC Wimbledon versus Brackley Town or Guiseley. Then we've got Harrogate Town versus Marine or Wrexham. That could be a good away tie if Marine can get past Wrexham. Away to Harrogate Town. They're doing really well this season. Hartlepool United versus Wycombe Wanderers. Kings Lynn Town face Walsall at home. That'll be a big home game for Kings Lynn Town.
Yeah, potentially a big TV
big
game.
Attendance
as well.
Could be as well. Yeah,
TV game, that
one. Crewe Alexandra versus Swindon Town. Then we've got Bolton Wanderers versus
Lancashire
Stockport County. Yep, Lancashire. Charlton Athletic versus Torquay or Havant and Waterlooville. Then we've got Oxford United versus Bristol Rovers.
Big game.
Massive game that. Crawley Town versus Tranmere Rovers. Leyton Orient versus Ebbsfleet United, which was a non-league game quite recently, wasn't that one? MK Dons versus Stevenage. Lincoln City versus Bowers and Pitsea. Could be an underdog.
Again, another TV game potentially.
Yeah, possibly. Port Vale versus Accrington Stanley. And then we've got Marske United or Gateshead versus Altrincham to round off the FA Cup first round fixtures.
Lovely stuff. Looking forward to when that first round happens. Ties will be played between the 5th and the 8th of November for all those fixtures. So, and Tuesday is the replay. So,
and that's 40 times total.
We'll talk a little bit more about what's coming in the week at the end of the show. But yeah, some good things. Just so we can keep with trend as well. There were some fixtures in the north and the south of National League. AFC Fylde 1, Gloucester 0, Chorley 2, Darlington 1. So Fylde, you're still top of the league. Chorley, you are 5th in the north. In terms of the south, Billericay Town 2, Slough Town 1, Eastbourne 2, Chippenham 2, Welling 1, Braintree 0. Dartford still lead the way in the Conference South. Love the FA Cup. Glad we're at the first round stage now.
Yep. It's that time of year we love to see the very low tier teams come up against League One and League Two teams, and I love to see an upset. Love upsets.
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
And it's great for their attendance and their money as well, isn't it? For like proper non-league teams.
Couldn't agree more. Really couldn't agree more. And just to keep things on track as well, how did Worcester do? Do you know how Worcester got on?
Worcester City this weekend. I don't know if they played actually. Let me just have a quick look. I don't recall them playing this.
I think when I looked, you're fourth in the league.
Yeah, still probably about 4 from last week. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, it was a 2-0 away win.
2-0 away win.
Brand new striker for Worcester got a brace in a 2-0 victory. So it finally got a striker. That's good. Good news. But yeah, 2-0 win for Worcester. Yeah,
good stuff.
Nuneaton very struggling this season, a lot, haven't they? They get anything this weekend.
We won. Yeah, finally. 2-0 victory. 2-0 victory for Nuneaton Borough. Still in the relegation zone, but yeah, that win was much needed.
Much needed
for the club. Yeah, definitely.
Been tough, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's lovely stuff. When we come back, it's the European setup.
So, rest of Europe. How are we looking this weekend?
So Bundesliga, yeah. So
fixtures,
that's
or?
we'll look at the tables. I think let's look at
Yeah.
the tables more than anything else for the European leagues. The Bundesliga, in terms of the Bundesliga,
New leader.
over to you. Over to you.
We have a new leader. Borussia Dortmund currently lie top of the table, followed by Bayern Munich, Bayer Leverkusen, and Freiburg still in the top four. It's quite strange seeing them in the top four. They're having a really good season.
It is. Sorry to break your heart though, but
Oh,
Bayern Munich are actually top of the league now because they're
are they
currently
playing
beating.
today?
Yeah, they're currently beating Leverkusen at Leverkusen 5-0, and we've only had
5-0.
Yeah, we've only had
Wow.
47 minutes on the clock. So yeah, Bayern Munich are top of the league.
That could be another big Bayern Munich win. I'm presuming Lewandowski scored.
He has two. Yeah,
There we are.
Two for Lewandowski, one for Muller, and two for Gnabry.
There's
far.
literally no surprise there when he gets on the score sheet.
Definitely not. So that puts Dortmund in second, Bayern Munich in top.
Yeah,
third, it's still Bayer Leverkusen are still third, even though they are getting absolutely hammering with nearly 35 minutes plus to go in that game. Who's in the fourth spot?
Freiburg in fourth.
Still there. Fantastic.
Yeah, they're normally like a mid-table struggling sort of side.
They are, yeah.
Aren't they? It's great.
And I look at the next two teams actually, Freiburg and Union
Berlin. Oh, their story! Really, I love their story.
Yeah.
I love everything to do with their stadium and the fact their fans actually got involved and helped rebuild their ground as well for the top league.
True. Fantastic. Yeah, very true. And then
Wolfsburg in sixth.
Yeah. Very good. And then obviously down the bottom we've got Augsburg in that relegation
massive game
playoff.
Today. Augsburg and Bielefeld. That's a massive bottom of the table game today.
Big time. Yeah,
and
big
then
time.
Greuther Fürth in 18th place.
Yep. Lovely stuff. And then we've got the Bundesliga 2.
Schalke won, didn't they?
We did. Yes, it's getting a habit now. It's getting a habit now, which is good. But in terms of Bundesliga 2, St. Pauli sit top of the league with a 4-2 victory yesterday. Jan Regensburg another draw yesterday, but it's still second. 1-1.
Great seeing them there. They've definitely not been this high in the second Bundesliga, have they ever before this season?
Definitely not. Definitely not. And they've only lost one all season, which is always good.
Brilliant.
Schalke in third, so in that playoff
definitely picking up wins spot. Now.
Yeah,
it's good to see Schalke picking up wins now because last season was terrible.
The last two seasons have been it's been such a struggle to watch.
But it was everything, finances, the merry-go-round of managers.
The finance is there, but it's just I don't know what it is, but there's just something that's not.
The ownership, there's something not right, is there, with the ownership of that club?
But 3 wins on the bounce, which is fantastic. 3 wins on the bounce, which is always good. I'm just looking now to seeing the Newcastle and Tottenham players arriving at St James's Park for their fixtures later on. But in the Bundesliga 2 relegation as well, it's no change. Sandhausen, Ingolstadt, and Erzgebirge Aue still occupy those spots. Over in Scottish football.
Yeah, so in the top 4 at the moment, we have got Rangers top of the league. I think they drew yesterday, I do believe.
They did,
Hearts in second place. Dundee United in third. Didn't they beat Hibernian like 3-0 yesterday? I'm pretty sure it was 3-0.
Dundee United. Hibs nil.
Big win. Yeah. Dundee United are having a very good season so far because they're not normally within the top 4. Fantastic.
Definitely.
Celtic in fourth. They seem to be picking up a tiny bit, but not a good start, really.
Still in consistent form though. Still in consistent form. 2 wins on the bounce though in the league for them. And then in the we haven't done this yet actually, but we've it's probably not a nice thing for yourselves, but Dundee and Ross County, you are in the lower part of the table. And I'm sorry, Paula, my wife does listen on occasion on a weekly basis to this, and she would like me to mention her hometown, which is in Scottish Division 1. Ayr United. Ayr United won 2-1 yesterday.
Ayr United. Weren't they in the Premiership at one point?
Not for many years. Yeah, many years. They've been on the brink in the last couple of years, but they just don't. That final hurdle, they just failed to get there. But that's where my wife from. She's from Ayr, and they're currently 6th in the league on that one. So she wanted me to mention Ayr United on the podcast. So there you go.
Hi, Kaylee.
Over to Italy.
Yeah. So AC Milan, still top of the league. Probably their best start to a Serie A season in a long time. It's looking like how it used to. God, when we're going back to when Seedorf was there, they've had some teams over the years, haven't they? AC Milan, so it feels normal to see them back in the top 4. So currently leading the way. Napoli in second. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, go on. It's funny that you say AC Milan. They've been kind of like languishing for many years now, haven't they? But I've looked at
literally mid-table, bottom half.
It's the first time they've been in the Champions League for too many years.
Yeah.
And that group is unreal. Porto, Liverpool, Milan, AC Milan, and then Atletico Madrid.
That's a cracking table, isn't
it? Cracking draw. But yeah, back to the table. So Napoli in second. Who's
Napoli
in third?
second. In the other Milan team, Inter Milan in third. Not doing too bad after Conte decided to leave in the summer. AS Roma, Mourinho's boys, in fourth. Been pretty good season for them, really, to be honest.
They're doing well. He's doing what he does best.
Doing what he does. He knows the Italian. He knows every league, doesn't he? Really, wherever he's been.
He knows how to get a result if he wants it.
Yeah, absolutely. Lazio in fifth. Fiorentina in sixth.
Lovely stuff.
Do we know how the bottom half is, or how Juventus are doing? I haven't really followed them for a bit.
Seventh or eighth, I think they are.
So they're starting to pick up a little bit now. Okay.
Yeah, I thought, you know what?
Isn't it?
Let's just focus on the teams that are in sixth, and then when Juventus, you got to prove your worth on the All Things Football podcast. So you can get a mention now going forward. And the same goes for Barcelona. The same goes for Barcelona, and let's move on to La Liga. So Real Sociedad, they are currently leading the way in La Liga.
I must admit, they're a team. They've been chipping away for years, haven't they? Towards that top four.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, completely agree on that one.
Is it Januzaj plays there, doesn't he? The old Man U winger. Yeah. They've got a bit of a good squad there, but top of the league.
They do, with the two Madrids follow after that. So Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid in second and third. Seville in fourth. Osasuna and Rayo Vallecano make up the fifth.
That's two teams. Spot. They're doing well. I know Vallecano are normally toward the bottom. Osasuna, they tend to be mid-table, bottom of the league normally.
That's it. And then moving forward, Barcelona, if you want a bit mentioned, same as Juventus, you've got to get in that top six in your leagues.
Yep.
And then last but not least, over in France, as you are now, I think they did have a little recent blip, PSG, but things are back to normal now.
I think PSG, they won 2-1 on Friday, didn't they? I
believe they did, yeah. I don't know, but Lionel Messi still doesn't look happy in my eyes.
But he's not started many games, has he?
I think he starts, but I don't know. I just get an aura from him that he's just not enjoying himself there.
He didn't want it. We all know he didn't want to leave Barcelona. Anyway, did he? He didn't want to leave Barcelona. That was his club. He didn't want to leave. He was politics at the club basically forced him out, didn't it? So correct. In that league. So he doesn't seem a happy boy there.
No, he doesn't. Maybe. Well, as long as he's playing Champions League football, I think that's all that matters to him at the minute. But PSG, Lens, Nice, Angers, and Lyon, and Bayer Leverkusen fans, let's just go back to Bundesliga. You've just scored, so the comeback is on in that league.
We'll see. You never know, but yeah.
But that's it. Yeah, for that rounds up. That rounds up this week's All Things Football podcast. We've spoken recently about this, and we've just spoken before the show as well. Actually, we've had a couple of recommendations about doing like maybe a little mini show in midweek for the midweek fixtures, especially in the Football League. And there's been a couple of tasty of occasions where we've missed out and we've not been able to cover it. And I think we are going to look maybe Wednesday with a release on Thursday potentially. I'm just bringing.
I think we were thinking of calling it. What was it? All Things Football Extra Time.
Yeah, All Things Football Extra Time. Just a little sub-series for midweek fixtures. They won't come all the time, but only when there's some like full round of fixtures in the EFL or the Premier League or whatever it may be. But yeah, I thought that would be quite a good thing. Just a quick 20-30 minute maybe podcast for you guys.
A bit of a wrap up before the midweek games that we
because it gets quite difficult. Yeah, we found on a Saturday it gets quite difficult for us to try and like bring the midweek stuff into the weekend. And if we can just do that, we can focus more on the fixtures for the weekend more than anything else. But yeah, really good weekend of football. Derby Day is the title of the show, and well, as you went through, you can see why it's Derby Day. But really, from me, I'll speak to you all Wednesday or Thursday.
Lovely stuff. Cheers, Dan. So yeah, just do a quick wrap up of the social medias. You probably all know by now. So we're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. That's our main social medias. Facebook, if you look us up on there, it's facebook.com/All Things Football Podcast. If you look us up on Twitter, it's twitter.com/ATF on Anchor. And on YouTube, if you do a search for the All Things Football podcast, you should be able to find us quite easily on YouTube. Thanks,
we've got
guys.
a URL. I'm just going to break in there.
Oh, go on.
YouTube.
Yeah,
YouTube. We've got we will have our own unique URL at some point.
Ooh.
So watch this space.
Here we go. Cool. So that'll be coming very soon. But for now, if you do a search for All Things Football podcast, you should be able to find us on YouTube until we've got that URL. Thanks again, guys. Have a great rest of your weekend. Take care. Bye-bye for now.